You say some funny shit.
I don't like what I say.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Rob. I'm here with Mike and Joe. This is the Hockey, Hops, and Hope. Nope. Sorry. We were watching the Caps game. Not good. Caps lost their season opener. Hogs, Hops, Hope podcast. Hot takes, cold beers, zero credentials, and only one goal for the Caps tonight. They lost. They lost their season opener to the Bruins. Wah, wah. It's going to be a long season, I guess. But anyway, we're here to talk about football and not hockey. So we will talk about Washington game against not the San Diego, but the Los Angeles Chargers. Washington won 27-10 in Los Angeles. Game was, I don't know. I thought it, well, hold on. Let's go to the hops first. So let's go hops. I'll go first on the hops since I always make you guys go first. I am drinking an inclined IPA from the Santa Monica Brew Works. So not surprisingly, brewed right here in Santa Monica, California.
Okay.
And for those asking, it's 7% alcohol by volume, because I know that's always a concern. But just like Mom used to make. Joe, what you got over there?
I am still working on my Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
Okay.
Same as last week. It was good then. It's still good now.
That's good to know. Mike, how about yourself?
I got my tried and true Yingling.
Looks like a little special can there, though.
Yeah, they've had this one around. Stars and Stripes can.
Okay.
No, it won't show on here, but you'll put it up later.
Yeah. It's already up there as we're talking, so
That's true.
People will see it. So what did you guys think of the game? Overall impressions. I mean, Washington's now 3-2. They travel across the country. I'm the one who said they were going to lose. So, wah, wah, I'm the idiot. But we already knew that. So, Joe, you're nodding. You're either nodding yes because I'm an idiot, or yes, you want to say something about the game. It could be both, of course. But...
both. It's both. Absolutely. Yeah, you're definitely an idiot. But good game. They played 3 good quarters. Showed up for 75% of the game. Did well. Played well on those quarters, and they won. That's always a good thing.
All right, Mike. Initial thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I know I said I thought they would win. I didn't think they'd win by that much. I thought it'd be closer. So, good win. And I was, pretty happy with the game. I was excited to watch Bill. Bill was that was fun for me.
Yeah.
He was having a day.
I'm liking Bill.
Well, I'm happy for him. I mean, I was sitting there watching and the Chargers jumped out to a 10-0 lead, and I thought to myself, well, good job, Rob. You're the one who's going to be right. And
I thought that too after the first quarter.
And well, I couldn't have been any more wrong. Yeah, Bill had himself a coming out party. I think that's one way to put it. He had 14 carries for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he also caught 2 passes for 39 yards. So he's I think he announced his presence with authority, as a famous line from a famous movie.
Yeah.
But and I think he won I don't know if he won an award. Did he win Rookie of the Week? I didn't see anything. I kind of stayed off of social media this week. But did he win Rookie of the Week or anything like that? Do we know?
The only thing I saw, doesn't Tom Brady have an award every week? Is some silly award, the let's freaking go, or
so because he's Tom Brady, so he has his own thing. So Bill was interviewed by Brady after the game, I guess, and this is like Brady's Player of the Game type of award. I don't know what they call it though, because I don't really pay attention to these things. But someone made the comment that, you go from not playing really your senior year of college to being a 7th-round draft pick to being interviewed by Tom Brady. What a run. Whatever. Who cares about
How about
being
just
interviewed?
getting 111 yards running in the NFL? Like, that's something to be noteworthy. Who gives a shit that he's talking to Tom Brady?
Exactly. Why do we care that he's talking to the owner of the Raiders?
Right.
So Washington won 27-10. We talked about Bill. I mean, yeah. Well, let's talk about Bill for a second, because there were some. I don't want to say there were high expectations for him this season, but there was a lot of hope for him. Hence the hope in the podcast. We know what we're talking about every once in a while. That he would be able to kind of have a I don't want to say a big season, but he would be relevant. Maybe that's the way to put it. And this game, he was the focal point of the offense. I don't is that. I mean, are we done? Or like I think was it last week or maybe it was 2 weeks ago? We talked about how maybe we were missing Brian Robinson. Is it kind of like now Brian who?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, look, I hate to take one game and be like, this guy's the end all be all. He's going to be our MVP running back forever. But we're Washington fans, so one win and we're going to the Super Bowl. So why not? No,
Well, there were some people who said Bill is now going to win the Rookie of the Year award, Offensive Rookie of the Year.
That'd be really cool.
Feels early to call that, but okay. I mean,
well, it is early to call it, and there is this guy, Emeka Buka, who's having a killer season, a wide receiver who's putting up extraordinary numbers. But and I may have to go back and find it, but on one of our previous shows, I did mention how in the past, some time ago, that Washington had a rookie of the year, a running back who wore 22, the number 22, by the name of Mike Thomas. And I thought it'd be cool if Bill could do that as well. It was kind of a whatever type of thing, but hey, if he ends up winning it, you better believe I'm going to go find that clip and I'm going to play it for everybody over and over and over again.
Let's just hope it wasn't 2 weeks ago.
I'm dodging shots over here. Touche, Joe.
Yeah.
Hey, why not, right? If we can't laugh at ourselves, what can we laugh at? So for the game, Jaden Daniels, he was back. That was the big news. He had just a game. I don't think it was anything spectacular. He was 15 of 26, 231 yards. He did throw a touchdown. He had 8 rushes for 39 yards as well. So nothing super duper spectacular, but it was nice to see him back. I won't say under center because we never line up under center, but he was back, back behind center, I guess is the way to put it, leading the team. And I think that did make a difference. Again, no shot at Marcus Mariota, but there's a different feeling when Jaden's out on the field, and I think that came through this week.
Yep, yeah, couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Debo once again led all receivers with 8 catches for 96 yards and a touchdown. So that's a good thing.
He has been having a heck of a year. That was a good trade for us.
Yeah,
when we originally talked about him being traded to us, we were a little hesitant and what's his production going to be like? And obviously it's early in the year, but so far he's been doing a hell of a job, and he's definitely stepping up now that we, for the last couple of weeks where we're missing 2 of our starting receivers.
Well, I don't think it was so much a criticism. It was more of a hesitation of what Debo are we getting?
I think we're getting a good one.
I think, well, it is a contract year for him, so he is on a 1-year contract.
Who
You know
isn't
what?
on a 1-year contract?
If that keeps them motivated, then I might be on board with these 1-year contracts.
Well, I'm a firm
You get
believer that
another.
maybe the entire league should just go to all 1-year contracts, and you get paid as you go. You have a good season, you'll get rewarded. You have a bad season, you're not going to get rewarded. Screw it. Screw these contracts that never make any sense. But that's a topic for a whole nother show.
Let's save that for next
That's
time.
yeah, that's a great off-season topic. Man, every team would be a Madden team trying to.
Well, you can throw in
that?
right of first refusal, but whatever. All right, so I don't mean to distract from the topic at hand, which is the game that they won against the Chargers. That's the important thing. Washington, the defense. Joe, you started off. The team played 75% of the game. They didn't play really in the first quarter. That goes with the defense. They gave up 10 points in the first quarter to the Chargers, right? But the defense did have 2 turnovers. Are you shocked by that in any way, shape, or form? That they actually were able to create multiple turnovers in one game? Mike, shocking, not shocking? What you hope for, what you expect?
Well, okay. I mean, given the way the season started, I don't know if shocking is fair. It's what I expect.
Okay.
So I guess for me, it's more encouraging that maybe they're making those plays happen. But they also didn't have a great first quarter, and so I'm not gonna. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna. I'd like
Well
to see
said,
it.
Mike.
I'd like to see it next week and then next week. Like again, I'll go back to what you do in one game. Cool, great. You had 2 turnovers. If they go back to the next 4 games with no turnovers, then whatever.
Fair enough. Joe, thoughts on that?
I think I'm more shocked that we haven't had more turnovers than anything, really.
Overall.
We've had, yes, yeah. I mean, we've had 3 good games and 2 bad games, and on those 3 good games, or let's talk about the other 2 good games aside from this Charger game. We should have had more turnovers. We were pressuring the heck out of the QBs, and it's almost surprising we did. It's shocking we didn't have more turnovers in those games. So it was nice to see us get some turnovers and do some production. And I also felt like we had a couple of penalties actually go our way this time. It didn't feel so one-sided.
Well, the Chargers took themselves out of drives all day long.
Yeah.
I mean, they
I
had
think
10 penalties for 85 yards.
the roughing the kicker,
So
that was massive.
So since you brought that up, this is a big question for me, because in watching the game, when Quan Martin recovered the fumble in the second quarter, Washington's down 10-0. The Chargers are driving, and Quan Martin recovers the fumble. And what I saw online was a couple of people posting, this is the game changer. This, of course, it can't be a game changer until something happens from it. But at least in my opinion, I mean, yes, it stops the Chargers drives. That is huge, because if LA goes down and scores a touchdown, they're up 17-0. But so Quan Martin recovers a fumble, and Washington actually ends up going down and scoring a touchdown, making it 10-7. So was that a bigger play? Or was what you just referenced, Joe, when Washington was punting out of their end zone? I think they were on the 4-yard line. Tressway gets a 50-yard punt or what have you. And San Diego, LA, the Chargers return it for a touchdown, but there was a penalty for roughing the kicker. Which do you think was a bigger play? Quan Martin recovering a fumble, keeping the Chargers from going up potentially 17-0, or the punt return, that was called back because of a penalty and actually gave Washington a first down, and they ended up going down and kicking a field goal to tie the game at 10-10. What's the bigger play? The fumble recovery or the punt return for a touchdown that wasn't?
I'm going to say the punt return that wasn't, because they ran it back. So it's like it took 7 points off the board for the Chargers, and we got the first down. And I think, was that when Jaden threw that long bomb to McCaffrey?
There was a 50-yard pass to McCaffrey, and then they eventually kicked a field goal.
And then they went in at halftime tied. I mean,
yes,
that and that right there, the Chargers didn't score again. They only scored 10 points.
Right.
So if it wasn't for that punt return, who knows how the game would have gone. If they went into halftime 17 and we had 7, and it would have been, I think it would have been a very different outcome.
Mike, what's the bigger play? The first turnover that stops it from being potentially 17-0, or the punt return that wasn't because of a penalty?
So I'm going to agree with Joe. I think it's the punt return that wasn't. And that's kind of what I thought before. I hadn't thought about the Quan Martin turnover that way. So now that you're bringing it up, that is a good point, but I'm sticking with the punt return that wasn't. Okay. I still think that was the bigger play.
Well, you'll be happy to know that both of you are correct. That was the bigger play.
Yes, we got it right.
And I don't even think it's close, quite honestly. I mean, look, yes, Martin getting a fumble recovery and then the team going down and scoring a touchdown. Yes, that is huge to make the game 10-7. But the other way is a swing of 10 points, Joe, as you said in your abstract math. That to me, that's the bigger game changer. Kudos for us for someone trying to kill Tress Way, I guess is. I mean, thanks for taking one for the team, Tress.
And on top of it, adding insult to injury, the guy leaping over him, that looked awful. It was just, come on, Tress, tackle a little higher. That was just, thank God.
I mean, that was pretty cool though, with him hurdling over him like that. I mean, good,
No, it wasn't. It would have been cool if one of our guys was doing that. Come on.
I can say it looked cool because it didn't count.
Fine.
So going back to the overall game, Washington had 163 yards on the ground, and I think we're all pretty excited about that. That we'll take that every week. Thank you very much. In the meantime, they gave up 155 yards on the ground. So, are we concerned? How concerned are we still about the defense? I know they stepped up. It was 10-0, and then the defense shut them out the rest of the game. And they did get 2 turnovers. Quan Martin gets his fumble recover. Mikey Sanistro gets the second interception of the season. This one at the goal line. That prevents a touchdown. How worried are we still about the defense? Mike, I'm going to come to you first, but I just feel like this is going to be an ongoing conversation all season long about what is. I don't know. Are we just going to keep living on a hope and a prayer each week?
I mean, well, yeah, apparently. It's very concerning. I think the other thing to point out, the 155 yards, their biggest rusher, granted on 4 carries, was Justin Herbert. So 60 of those yards are coming from their quarterback, which means to me he's able to make plays. That concerns me. He's I don't think he's that good of a quarterback.
Well, in those 60 yards, one of was a 41-yard rush. So you had 3 carries for 19 yards outside of that.
All right, still fine. They gave up 40 yards to the quarterback. I still don't like that.
Well, Hampton, who's their starting running back, he had 12 carries for 44 yards. He got injured, and so he was held out. And they did have offensive line problems. So they had some injuries. They were already down both their starting tackles, I believe, and then one of their starting guards was in and out all game with injuries. But they were still able to rush. With that being said, with a beat up offensive line, and this kind of sounds like Washington a little bit. They had a beat up offensive line. The running back gets hurt, and they still rush for almost as many yards as Washington. And we're all happy about how many yards Washington rushed for. Granted, they didn't rush for another 200 yards like they've done twice this year, but I think it's still an area of concern to me. I mean, granted, Herbert Trey Lance came in for Herbert. So combined they had 181 yards passing with 1 touchdown and an interception. So secondary played a little better maybe, but the defensive line is still a question for me.
I think that's fair to say. I mean, we did get 5 sacks though, right? Von Miller picked up 2, and
Yeah, I think
that's
it
it's
was it
good.
5?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But I don't. I mean, we talked about this during the offseason too. That was the one area we didn't really beef up our team. We didn't pick up a defensive end. I mean, we picked up Von Miller late in the
Oh,
offseason.
no. We definitely beefed up our defensive line. Kinlaw, Wise, those were big signings, or what have you. Bringing in Von Miller, I mean, those are big moves. Now, obviously, Wise is out for the season. I mean, can't control that, but they did make a concerted effort to at the very least add more depth and get bigger on the defensive line. So it's not like they didn't do anything. They did try and fix it somewhat. So, um, so let's talk about the offense then. We talked about Bill. We're all pretty excited about the game he had, and here's hoping he can replicate that moving forward. If he can give us 100 yards rushing and 30 yards receiving every game, I think we're all on board for that. Yeah, I mean that's
I'd be okay with that. Yeah,
right.
think that.
And having Jaden back, we're all good with that. So, this game, no Terry. There was no Noah Brown. So again, we're winning without these guys. We're winning without our starting 2 receivers. You can call Debo the number 2 receiver if you want, whatever, but we're winning without the top 2 receivers these last 2 games. So Terry did not practice today and is questionable for this weekend's game against the Bears. And I believe so. Dan Quinn said during today's press conference that he is optimistic about Terry for this week and reiterates that he and others, Noah Brown, Sam Cosmi, are trending in the right direction. Of course, we hear that over and over again. They're trending in the right direction. So sticking with the receivers for a second, Noah Brown practiced today. Terry did not. There was I didn't see an injury report, but I think that's might be because they play Monday night against the Bears, so they can put it off a day. I'm going to say that Terry's not playing again this week against the Bears. And I'm going to go back to one of our preseason or off-season podcasts. Do we care?
Yeah, I think we're missing him. We need that extra. We need those deep passes he brings in. Luke had a great one, and Debo's been doing great, but we haven't had did we have a lot of deep? I guess we had. I think I remember Jaden throwing the ball pretty deep a couple times. But yeah.
Well, I mean, McCaffrey caught a 50-yarder. That's got to count for something, yeah.
Oh, absolutely, it does.
Yeah.
It absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. But I think Terry not being there is not a good thing.
Mike, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I agree. I guess I care less against the Bears. Not saying they can't come out and beat us, but I'm less concerned about it Monday. And if he's not 100%, I'd rather he not be there on Monday, and so we can get him back later, so it doesn't become something worse.
Okay. So I was during the game. I was tweeting back and forth with one of my favorite Redskins fans on Twitter. And she and I used to have this running thing about D'Angelo Hall and how much we had a love-hate relationship for D'Angelo Hall. I loved him because he went to Virginia Tech, and when he was on, he was great. He was a really good cornerback for us. The downside is he was good for a 15-yard penalty, at least one 15-yard penalty every single freaking game. It didn't matter what it was. He was going to have a penalty every single game. And so she tweeted out that she was done with Terry. And she goes back to the preseason BS stuff. And she said he's kind of becoming D'Angelo Hall to her, that she just doesn't care about him. And I started thinking about it, and I'm kind of in the same boat with Terry, quite honestly. He's a great player, but I didn't like the BS this time with the holding out. And I'm sure if you probably went back and looked at some of my tweets from 3 years ago, I was probably pretty pissed off at him for holding out the last time too. And you know, his string of 1,000-yard seasons, great, but he's needed 17 games to do that as opposed to 16. So does it really count? Old school guy like me, get off my lawn? No, it doesn't. Look, if he comes back, I'm sure he'll play this season. I don't think he's done for the season, but I don't care. I guess this is my hot take. This is my get off the lawn. But if this offense is doing what it's doing without him, then do we really need him? Would the team be better with him? Sure. A healthy Terry McLaurin makes the team better. But is the team winning without him? Yes, they are.
Yeah, needing him to win games, not necessarily. Jaden, on the other hand, we definitely need to win games. I know we did okay with Mariota, but Jaden is his game changer. But I do agree with you.
I'm not talking about Jaden, though. I'm not talking about
No. I'm just saying that how important a single player could be. And I do agree with you that Terry is not that important right now.
I mean, we've all talked about how I'll say what a great season Deebo's having so far.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And why he's not supposed to be the number one receiver. He's certainly acting like it. And I mean, Noah Brown is an afterthought to me. And I mean, does this guy even play? I mean, who is he? You know, I mean,
when did he get hurt? Was that during the Green Bay game as well?
I think so.
And did he do anything in the first two games? I don't even remember.
So Noah Brown played in the Giants game. He had 2 receptions for 27 yards. In the Green Bay game, he had 1 reception for 9 yards.
So 36 yards this year.
36 yards, 3 receptions, 7 targets. And that's it.
We don't really need him either.
So
okay, what did Terry do in those 2 games?
So hold on. So Terry has played 3 games. I just had this up. So Terry against the Giants, 2 receptions, 27 yards. Against Green Bay, he had 5 receptions for 48 yards. And against the Raiders, he had 3 receptions for 74 yards. So he's had 10 receptions for 149 yards, 0 touchdowns, with his longest being 56 yards.
He should have gotten the 1 touchdown because knee didn't touch.
Well,
I know.
But the fact of the matter is he doesn't have a touchdown.
Yeah.
So if you take that long play out of it, and he's got 9 catches for less than 100 yards. So, I mean, look, there's still, we're only a third of the way through the season. So yeah, there's still a lot of games left to play, but at this point, Mike, you were talking about Terry. Like, let's make sure he's healthy, right, before he comes back. And smart. I agree with that. But let's make sure he's absolutely 100% healed, because if he's not, then he's going to come back and he's going to re-injure. He's going to have the same injury over and over and over again all season long, and it's going to be a game-to-game thing with him. I'd rather know that he's going to be here for a good stretch than every other game wondering, is Terry going to play? Because that affects the rest of the offense.
Yeah, and if he's going to be out for a couple games, looking at the numbers, Debo is great. I'd like to see McCaffrey get. Yes, I understand he had 50 yards in this game. It was one catch, so I'd like to see him do more. Or if he could get, I don't know, 2 of those a game, then I'd be all right. If he does 2 50-yard catches a game, then that might be all right. But
so here's an issue I have from this game. When I look at the receiving core for this week, so I mentioned Debo Samuel had 8 receptions for 96 yards. And we mentioned that Bill had 2 receptions for 39 yards. So now Jaden only had 15 completions. McCaffrey had 1 catch. Jalen Lane had 1 catch. McNichols had 1 catch. John Bates had 1 catch. Tay Martin had 1 catch. It's almost as if we're relying on Debo too much, and then I wonder, are we relying on Debo too much? So let me ask you that. Question comes out of that.
Okay,
are we relying on Debo too much for the offense?
I would say maybe. And here's the thing: we talked about this early on. Part of the Debo thing with Terry is we were like bringing in Debo, and we talked about he's not a number 1, but what we thought he could do was help split the defense so that Terry would have more opportunities. So if we're now back to the point where we're relying, and I know it's injuries and Noah's out, Terry's out, whatever, but if we're relying on Debo, I mean, it's not just the catches you just said. Debo had 11 targets. Nobody else had more. McCaffrey had 2, Jalen Lane had 2, and Jeremy McNichols had 2. So it's what concerns me about that is if Debo becomes yes, we rely on him too much, and everyone else knows he's the go-to guy. I think that's a problem. But like I said, one of the things of having him and Terry is we thought it would create opportunities for one or the other. If Terry was double covered, then maybe Debo would have an opportunity.
Right. I mean, Zach Ertz only had 1 target last week. Now, granted, Bill's running wild, so we don't have to throw the ball as much.
True. And Bill got 2 targets and caught both of them. Just saying.
Yeah. But I don't necessarily need Bill out of the backfield catching passes. I mean, it's nice that he can do that, but
no, let him run.
If that becomes our focal point, then I think we're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
But Debo, in the 5 games, starting with the Giants game, he had 7 receptions. He had 7 receptions against Green Bay, 2 against the Raiders, 6 against Atlanta, and 8 against the Chargers. He's yet to have a 100-yard receiving game, which I'm not complaining about. It's more of an observation. He did have 96 yards this last game. And he's not really carrying the ball that much. He didn't have any carries against the Chargers. He had 1 against the Giants, 0 against Green Bay, 3 against the Raiders, and 3 against Atlanta. So he's not running the ball, and this is all his production is on the receiving end. He is actually he's looking like a number 1 receiver, plain and simple, league wise. I mean, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but I mean, he stopped returning kickoffs, and part of that is because McCaffrey's been doing so well. But
well, I think if he was doing kickoffs, then we certainly would be relying on him too much.
Yes.
So take some of that away from him. It's not, you're not wrong, but when we are missing our number 1 and our number 2 wide receivers, someone has to step up. And the fact that he's being productive, the ball's being thrown towards him and he's catching it and being productive, it's not a bad thing. And
he's only 20th in the league in yards receiving. So he's not, but he's 9th in receptions. and 17th in targets. So I don't know what any of that means. I mean, I know what it means, but maybe he's not a true number one receiver, because I would expect the number one receiver to be higher than 20th overall in the league right now for receiving yards. But
is he really our number 3 at this point? We all just said, what's Noah done? I feel like he's at least our number 2 at this point.
Well, Debo's our number 1 right now because Terry's not playing.
Yeah. Here's a question. At the end of the season, will we still be calling him not the number 1 receiver? Assuming Terry comes back, I'll be curious to see.
Well, that will definitely be a question because of the 1-year contract, is what happens at the end of the year. Now, obviously, we're not going to address that now in week 5/6, but we'll table that with my the whole league should go to 1-year contract conversation. All right, so next game. So that's enough on the Chargers. You guys got anything you want to add on the Chargers? On the Charger game?
No.
Okay. All right. So Washington's 3-2 now. They finally won a game on the road. And their next game is Monday night against the Chicago Bears. We all know last year they played the Bears. It came down to the Hail Mary. Noah Brown, baby. We all don't care about Noah Brown except he caught the Hail Mary against the Bears last year. But that's last year, and that doesn't matter right now because we're on this year. So initial thoughts, the Bears are, I don't even know what the Bears are this year. What are they? I think they're 2-3. 2-2. They had a bye week. What do you guys got any thoughts on the Bears?
Go ahead, Joe.
I got nothing.
All right, so
they've been really hot and cold in their games, haven't they? The 2 games they won, they played really well. The 2 games they lost, they played really bad.
Well, that sounds like Washington. You could say that about any team.
I think you could say that about a lot of teams this year. They're teams that are.
Yeah,
it's been a weird year in the league.
Okay, so the Bears lost the first week to the Vikings at home, 27-24. They got blown out by the Lions in week 2, 52-21. They beat the Cowboys week 3, 31-14. And last week in Vegas, beat the Raiders 25-24. Or not 2 weeks ago, because last week they were on a bye. So they're 2-2. They got a 2-game winning streak. They're coming to Washington. The game's in Washington this week. Washington is wearing their black uniforms. The battle black uniforms. I want to use the proper terminology from the team. Right. Battle black uniforms. It's great that our team is wearing black uniforms against a team that actually has black in their color scheme. But I digress. Caleb Williams, if I look at the stats for the Bears, Caleb Williams, he's thrown for 927 yards, 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Their leading rusher is DeAndre Swift. He's got 187 yards total. Adunez is their number 1 receiver. He's got just shy of 300 yards, which is a little less than I think Debo has. Obviously, last year, and I know it's different this year than last year, but last year's game was a very close game. Obviously, it comes down to a Hail Mary. The Bears are on a 2-game win streak. And Washington is coming off of a good game where they played the back half of the game well, but not the first part of the game well. So are we confident? How confident are we that they're going to beat the Bears again this year? Mike,
we got the momentum.
Joe, yeah, Joe go first since he talked.
I'm just going to jump in there. Mike, shut up. We got the momentum. They've been resting the whole time the last week. We're ready. We're rip roaring ready to go.
They're resting or recovering?
Yeah.
No, they're resting.
See,
it's too early in the season for them to be recovering. They're resting.
Right, because Washington certainly couldn't use a bye week right now to recover from all their injuries.
no, I agree.
All right, Mike. Any thoughts on the Bears game this weekend?
No, I mean,
Or it's not this weekend because it's Monday, but whatever.
Monday.
You know what
Yeah. Well, I was with Joe until you brought up the recovering thing. That's true. That could be, but no, I think look, we're on the upswing. We had last 3 quarters of football. We played really well, so it's momentum's on our side. We're good. We got him.
We got him.
Yeah.
I mean, they got Caleb Williams as their quarterback. Who the hell is he? Like, whatever. Like, he's any good. I mean,
I feel like Caleb coming into this game has more riding on this because last year when they played us and they lost, he went on like a 7-game losing streak, I think it was. So he's probably got some chip on his shoulder against us.
Yeah.
And Jaden was playing pretty smooth he knocked out the cobwebs in the first quarter and played pretty smooth for the last bit. I agree with what you were saying earlier that he didn't do anything spectacular, but he did more than enough to win that game. I mean, he didn't have to do anything crazy. We had a 17-point lead at the end of the game. And he was smooth and calm.
But Washington scored a touchdown late.
Yeah, but he still looked smooth, calm, collective. He had to throw a couple of passes from the end zone. He wasn't trying to do too much, it seemed like. And so hopefully that just carries into this game and he got his feet underneath him and we'll keep rolling with it and hope for the best.
So Joe, just to follow up real quick on something you said, you said that after they lost to Washington, they went on a 7-game win streak. Washington was the start of a 10-game loss streak. They lost 10 in a row.
Yeah, he said loss. 7-game loss.
Right, but I'm saying it was 10. And
fine, my bad. Okay. They went even worse. He went even longer.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It was even worse. I'm not trying to correct you. I'm saying it was even worse.
So Jaden just lives in Caleb's head. Caleb has to win this game in his because that's what sent them off the deep end last year. Had nothing to do with their coach that they fired 2 games later, whatever the hell it was. I forget.
Then I'm gonna go. You're right. Caleb's coming in with a chip on his shoulder, right? Remember last time you said that about a team coming in with a chip on their shoulder because they had just lost 30-0? Atlanta or Carolina? Atlanta against Carolina. You said,
"Oh, did we record that show?
Record that show. Shit, that was the one. Oh my god!" But you did say that. You were talking about Atlanta's coming off that.
You said it because we confirmed it last week.
Damn it. Never mind. There's no evidence of what I'm talking about.
Okay, but in that same breath, so Caleb Williams in their 2 wins in their last 2 wins, their mini win streak as it were, he was 19 for 28 for 298 yards and 4 touchdowns against Dallas. And then against Vegas, he was 22 for 37 for 212 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So, I mean, that's a pretty good game against Dallas and a pedestrian game against Vegas.
And Vegas was terrible, and we dog walked them.
Yeah, so point.
So if they can barely beat Vegas and we beat the crap out of them, that means we'll beat the crap out of the Bears.
Yeah, look, I'm not buying that the way this NFL season has gone. I'm not buying that.
That's okay. That's
I will say this.
Let me ask you this:
similarities. Last season, the Bears had a 3-game win streak and a bye, and came to Washington and lost 18-15. 18.
That was after their bye week last year, also. Okay. Yeah. And they had a win streak going into their bye week, and then they came in and shit the bed.
Yeah, last year They had beaten the
Well, they
Rams
lost.
24-18. They beat Panthers 36-10. They beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 35-16. That was in London. They had a bye week, and they came in. They lose to the Commanders on to Hail Mary, and then lost to Arizona, the Patriots, the Packers. Granted, that was by 1 point. The Vikings in overtime, the Lions, 49ers, Vikings, Detroit again, Seattle before beating Green Bay in the last game of the season. So, with all that information, that means absolutely nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Joe, we're going to go to you first because you're very adamant about these things. How do we feel?
We're going to win.
What's our confidence level for this week against the Bears?
Always high.
Always high. Last week you were like 51%.
I'm actually feeling more confident after the way we played the second half of the last game. I'm feeling pretty good. That counts for something, doesn't it?
All right. Well, I should throw out as well. We didn't talk about Sam Cosmi. Sam Cosmi has started practicing. He practiced the last week. He's going to practice this week. He's not going to play against Chicago. I don't know if he's been officially ruled out, but he's not going to play against Chicago. And he may have a hard time cracking the starting lineup again. But I guess we can talk more about that next week. Mike, how do we feel about Chicago?
Look, I think we're going to win. I am not as confident as Joe for all the things that we've talked about. And Joe, your points, they're coming in with a chip on their shoulder. They're, last year's game. They're all of those things. I don't think this is going to be an easy one, although last year's wasn't easy either. Also, as we've discussed, this year in the NFL, I don't know. Who would have thought 5 games in we'd have a better record than the Chiefs this year? Be honest.
Well, when you say something like that, the true fans would have thought we'd have a better record than Kansas City.
Okay.
More so, who would have thought by week 5 we wouldn't have an undefeated team? That's weird to me. Usually there's one team or 2 teams that make it to 7 or 8 games before they finally lose one. And then there's one team that'll go on a long run. So this is early in the season to have everyone have at least one loss. And then there's only one team right now that doesn't have a win. And usually there's maybe 2 or 3 that don't have a win by week 5.
At least we do still have a winless team, and that is the Jets.
Yeah, but it's the only one. And it's week 5 where it's like, it's just a weird year.
But there are 7 teams. 7 teams only have 1 win so far.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think they're going to win, but it's a weird year, so anything can happen.
And there's 7 teams that are 4-1. So who the fuck knows?
I know we're going to win.
Okay. So I'm going to go full disclosure.
I'm done with you.
I texted you guys this the other day. So I fell asleep during the game, during the Chargers game. And because that's how interested I was in the game. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I stayed up too late the night before. Maybe it's because I was bored by the game. I don't know, but I fell asleep. I didn't even see the last score for Washington, quite honestly. So I'm hoping I'll be a little bit more excited for this game. Of course, it's on a Monday night, which means I'm going to watch the beginning of the game at work, which I always love. And I love being in LA for things like that. But if I time it right, I go home during halftime and I don't miss any part of the game and it works out well. I just watch the first half at work and I watch the second half at home. I'm going to say that they're going to win. I'll put my confidence level at about 60% though. Because what Mike was saying off of what Joe was saying, and that is I think Caleb Williams has something to prove. I think he's a different quarterback with a new coach. And, uh, this is one of those things where I don't know what's going to happen. Like, it does. It seems weird to be predicting things because there's so much weirdness with this season so far, it feels like. Um, you got Ben Johnson coming in as the coach. I mean, he was speculated to be Washington's coach before they hired Dan Quinn, and apparently he didn't want to be coach here. I mean, is that a storyline that maybe he wants to come in and say, "See, this is why I didn't want to go to Washington because I knew I'd beat them if I coached somewhere else." Uh, you know, so I'm going to say 60% confident that Washington's going to win. Joe, you're super confident. What's that, like 80, 90%?
I'll say 80.
Okay. Mike?
I'm going to go 61% because I'm probably more confident than you. Playing like Price is Right rules.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Mike just did the old 701 trick. At least you didn't go 50.1% again this week. So I appreciate that. Anything else you guys want to throw in? Anything about the Chargers game, about the upcoming game against the Bears, or anything else? I mean, Jerry Jones was fined $250,000 for an obscene gesture. Do we want to talk about that at all?
No.
You guys didn't hear that one?
Oh, I heard it. Yeah.
Okay.
F the Cowboys.
Okay. Now you brought it up. I actually read a story about it. I can totally see where he was trying to do a point at somebody and give him the thumbs up, and apparently he just the finger came out. I don't even think he intended to because he was pointing to Dallas fans. So I kind of believe his story. I hate to say it.
He might have been saying you're number one. I mean, come on. I mean,
well, not to a Dallas fan because what's their record? They're definitely not number one. So,
well, it's what are they? They're 2-2-1. I mean, they're a half game behind Washington.
Right, so they're not number one.
True, because even Washington's not number one.
That's right.
When you look at the NFC East, one team has 4 wins, one team has 3 wins, one team has 2 wins, and one team has 1 win.
Neat.
I don't think that really means anything. I just saw that, so I thought I'd say it.
Probably time to wrap up when we're doing shit like that.
All right, well, I guess we'll call it then. You guys got nothing else to add? Joe looks out, he's out of beer. I'm just about done myself.
Time to end the show.
Time to end the show. You can't see how much Mike has left because he has a colored glass, so we can't see what's in there still.
I got about a quarter beer.
Okay.
I don't drink like you guys.
Well, mine's even 19 ounces. I'm doing my 19-ounce can. I gotta, so whatever. All right. So, as always, we appreciate y'all tuning in and watching, and those who subscribe, we appreciate it. And if you're seeing us for the first time, we'll do us a favor and click subscribe, and maybe even click link. I did that before. Click like. You can click the link button too and post it otherwise and promote it for us because that would be appreciated. But anyway, click like, leave a comment if you want. We can be heard on Apple and Spotify as well. For those of you that want to listen and not watch, but trust me, we're much better on camera. As much as we all hate being on camera, we're better on camera. My opinion, that's the only one that matters right now. Until next week, we'll talk to you then. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
It's just a stupid podcast.